Hello and welcome. This is Preeti. I am so glad you're joining me today. Today we're making a card using a lot of dimensions and textures just to make a simple card look beautiful. So I'm starting off with this card panel, which is a pearlescent white cardstock. I hope you can see that shine there. And I'm going to use the scoring tool and make sure that it is really well scored so that it doesn't move on me when I use this stencil. Now this stencil is called the Poppy Bloom Stencil, which was released in April, and I'm going to actually add some texture paste using this stencil. So I want to make sure that nothing moves on me, nothing opens up, so I just added a little bit of washi tape inside the cardstock so that it holds the panel together. I don't know if I told you, this is a top folding note card. And again, it's a pearlescent white note card. And I'm just going to put a lot of washi tape all over the edges of the stencil. As I said, I don't want the stencil to move while I add the texture paste. So I'm just going to add a white texture paste. Actually, this white texture paste that I'm going to use also is a little bit pearlescent, but it doesn't really show a lot. But that's okay. You can use any white texture paste you may have in your stash. And then I'm just going to put this very thin layer of this paste through that stencil. Now, if you don't have a texture paste, you can definitely smush your Versa ink pad on top of the stencil so that the ink of the Versamark goes on the cardstock, and then you can add white embossing powder and that will work as well. But I had the texture paste, so I'm just going to use, and this just adds a little bit of that texture that I was talking about on a very simple card, just enhancing them using die cuts and texture and just giving some dimension. And here you can see I've let it I've added it, and I'm just going to let it dry for a bit. This is a little sneak peek for you. This is a little die cut which is going to be released very soon, and I thought I'll show it to you. I'm so excited, which cuts these arches. So I've already gone ahead and cut an arch, using a white cardstock, and I'm just going to use these 3 distress ink pads to create an ombre onto this arched panel. So I'm starting off. Oh, another thing I wanted to tell you, that I am using a blending tool, but Bliss has actually released a few beautiful blending brushes. I don't have them still in my stash, but the moment I get it, I will be using it. In the meantime, I'm using something that I had lying in my stash. So just something that, you know, I will link the product in the description box below so you know exactly where to get them. So here you can see I've started off with a dark blue ink at the bottom, and then I've added this green ink on it, and I think that green that I used is called the Rustic Wilderness. Now I didn't have anything darker than the Rustic Wilderness, so what I did is I first laid down the chipped sapphire and then went over it with the Rustic Wilderness, and then blended the Rustic Wilderness a little forward to give that deep dark color, and then ended off with Twisted Citron, and that's what gave me this beautiful green ombre color. Then I'm taking this die cut. This die cut is called the Open Greenery and number 2, and I really love this die cut, honestly. And I've gone ahead and cut the largest leaf there using a gold glitter cardstock and also a vellum cardstock, and you can see here the 2 pieces, and I'm going to actually lay them one over the other. What I like about this greenery is that the arch of the greenery actually kind of matches with the arch of the die cut that we did there, and it really like it's made for each other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some liquid glue only to the center of this leaf, because I really want those leaves to pop up. Again, as I said, the 3D dimension, that's what we're trying to give here. So I just want to make sure that those leaves are still popping up and they're not lying flat. Don't worry about the glue showing. This glue does dry clear, so it won't be visible, but either way, I'm also going to add this vellum on top of it. Again, doing the same thing. I'm adding the glue only to the center, the stalk of the stem, and then I'm just going to offset it a bit onto that gold glitter paper card leaf, sorry, and then I'm going to just adhere it, so that way it just gives a double layer, and you can see that on the side when I tilt it, that little bit of the dimension that it gives. And then I'm going to take this die. This is an older die and it's called the Friend. This has two parts to it. It has a shadow and then it has the word itself. I'm going to cut the shadow using a vellum cardstock and the Friend using white cardstock, and I've cut the Friend multiple times so that I can actually layer them so that that word becomes dimensional. So it's not flat, it is dimensional, and it's easier. It's very hard to add foam tape behind these kind of delicate words. So if you want to add the dimension or make it a little chunky or sturdy, cut a few of them and adhere them one over the other, and that will actually give you a really nice thick strong or sturdy dimensional wood. So here you can see I'm just adding, I cut them 3 times and I'm just stacking them one above the other, making sure that they are adhering in evenly. And then I'm going to just add the Friend directly onto the shadow, which I cut in vellum. And here you can see I'm just finishing up, and it just adds a little bit of like a fun element to that without taking away too much from the word itself. And then I'm making sure that I'm adding the dot on the eye as well. Make sure that you keep that dot. It's a really tiny dot and it's easy to lose, so make sure you're keeping that safe. And then I'm just going to add that right there. Also, now this is the hero sentiment, Friend. Now I need something that will accompany it. So what I did, I took this before that, I just want to make sure I show you. So this cardstock here is completely dried. You can see it looks so beautiful, the texture onto that. And then my idea is to put this green arch, offsetting it a bit. So I'm just going to add some liquid glue onto that. Now, I have tried adding foam tape behind this, but sometimes when you add texture paste, foam tapes don't really adhere very well, so the liquid glue does a better job. And anyway, I was thinking there's a lot of dimensions already in this card, so I didn't really need to lift that arch as well. So the Friend is going to go there, and again, as I said, that is the hero sentiment, and the accompaniment right there is what I've used this Always Peony stamp set, and I've gone ahead and cut quite a few sentiments from that stamp set. Actually, I've embossed and die cut that on a black cardstock, and I always keep these kind of sentiments ready in the stamp set envelope itself, so that whenever an occasion arises, I can just go ahead and adhere it. Now, I would have actually left this card just with Friend, just because I want to make sure that whenever I'm ready to send this card, I will just add one of those sentiments. But for this video, I'm just going to put that sentiment, that accompanying sentiment as well, so you can see the finished look. So here I'm just adding that that sentiment, and this one says, I think it says just note to say hello, and then I'm just going to add the Friend over it. This card is perfect for anniversary, for wedding, for birthday, for thank you. Actually, I think it will be a good card to send as a sympathy card as well. Again, as I said, you can just make it and keep it, and whenever you're ready, you can add a sentiment. And here you can see it's a very simple card, but yet because of all those textures and dimensions that we've added, it just gives an oomph to this card. And you can see how easy it is to add just simple things like this to kind of highlight or make your card look more stunning or designer. So here I'm just adding a few dewdrops just to kind of bring them all together. I'm just keeping the dewdrop only in that arched area, and here's a close-up of that card. Oh my goodness, I really love this card, and I really hope you like it too. And very soon here I'm gonna show some close-ups of the cards, and here are all the close-ups of these cards. And I really hope you give a go to texture and die cuts, and you have fun. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.